Do local newspapers make a difference? That's what we asked people living in the area, covered by the Annandale Herald, the Annandale Observer, the Dumfries Courier and the Moffat News. It mirrored the theme of Local Newspaper Week, which celebrates the positive role local newspapers have in communities across Dumfriesshire and beyond. Scottish Newspaper Society Director John McClellan, who was visiting publishers DNG Media in Annan, was enthusiastic.
Annandale is a very lucky part of Scotland to be served with four such bright and packed local newspapers: the Annandale Observer, the Moffat News, the Annandale Herald and the Dumfries Courier. These are fantastic local newspapers, brightly produced. They've got some smashing colour, loads of local news stories and absolutely crucially, loads of local advertising.
Coming from Glasgow, I sort of buy the Herald. That's my kind of daily paper. And then every Thursday I get the Moffat News, the sort of local paper, and it's a nice balance that.
I read it every Thursday morning. It's really good because it shows I like reading the school section because it shows what all our friends are up to, and it kind of focuses on the achievements that Moffat Academy and lots of the other schools in the region are actually accomplishing, and it's good that we get shown for that because we put a lot of hard work into what we do.
Here at Annan Athletic, we get unparalleled exposure in the local paper, the Annandale Observer, and we have guys on a Thursday night while the first team's training, they're down the street queuing up to buy the paper, although it's not meant to come out until a Friday. But it's almost an institution, the local newspaper, and the coverage that not only Annan Athletic but all the sports get locally, you just can't get that in a national newspaper. But another factor that we find as well, that the news is there on a Friday, match days a Saturday, and everyone's got the up-to-date information. The Annandale Observer reporters, they get the information as late as possible on a Wednesday afternoon, so it's up to date and it keeps our supporters abreast of the news, what's going on here at Galabank, and they don't need the internet to do that. They get that from the local paper.
At Goodman we've worked with the Courier group from Annan, DNG Media, for 4 or 5 years now. We believe that it's very, very important to work with a local newspaper because they understand the local community, and the results that we get from the advertising with the Courier Group are exceptional. More than 4 out of 5 people that come to us through our advertising come from the DNG Media via the Courier and the other papers that they own.
They're really good for schools, especially when you're little and you do well in sports day and your pictures in the paper, you think you're a little celebrity. But they're also good for later on in school. Like our school does an annual school show, and the paper always does an article with pictures and promotes it for us.
I recently retired as an accountant, and one of the things I always did was to get a copy of the local newspaper. I'd covered from here in Dumfries and Galloway up to the west of Scotland, and to find what was happening in the community, find out the background to the client. The local newspaper was one of the ideal methods of getting to hear about what was happening in the area, and I found that the most essential thing to do to get hold of the papers, to read them.
Thursday is Moffat News Day to a lot of people. They look forward to getting it either delivered or coming in the shop, and they can maybe catch up with people on a Thursday morning, afternoon, whenever they come in. Moffat News does give a lot of community identity. The name, people that get the Moffat News will pass it around to family and friends and post it on as well, so to far and wide, probably even goes abroad as well, so that's good.
I've been reading the Annandale series for many years now, and it's always a good read, and it's nice to catch up with the local news, and there's always interesting articles, especially I like the digest. And some of the old photographs from years ago.
The Annandale Observer is always a good paper every week. It's always local news, plenty of local history. We're always queued out for the Annandale every Thursday night. There's always people waiting. Always put it on social media as well that the papers are due in. Always really, really busy. It's a local catch-up time for the local folk every Thursday night.
I quite like the 10 years ago bit where they put a picture from 10 years ago, because lately I've been noticing people I know in them, and a while back I saw my sister in P1 in her new uniform back in the 10 years bit. That's quite good.
It means that we can see what our community is up to as a whole, rather than just what our friends are achieving too.
Yeah, it's sometimes better than the social media because the social media sometimes focus more on worldwide stuff and more sort of celebrity stuff, but with the local newspaper we kind of see what's going on in our community and stuff like that. Yeah.
I do believe there's a place for newspapers in local communities specifically. allowing people to understand what's going off in their area. Local press particularly, they can see what's going off. If we can get some results in there from weekly racing and some photographs when we have open meetings, this is all good for the community and indeed for the sailing club.
I do write the occasional letter, and certainly the number of people who will stop me in the street and say, "Oh, I thought that was a good thing you wrote in the local paper," or "I can't believe you hold that view." You know, it's well, definitely it shows you there's a lot of readers of the letters and the local paper. And what I kind of like recently with the kind of a referendum debate is that the local papers have been trying to get a good balance of opinions of yes, against, that are better together, and it really is striking up a good balanced debate in the local community, and there doesn't appear to be any sign of bias in the local paper.
These are the absolute lifeblood of their communities. They help people communicate, they help people link up, they create a sense of community and a sense of continuity, I think, which is absolutely essential to maintaining healthy local communities. And not only that, but these papers are absolutely crucial in making sure that people who make decisions about our communities are properly held to account, and so that the decisions that are made are properly scrutinised and examined, and that the readers are able to see how the decisions that are made in their name are carried out.